Good morning, everybody. Drink intentionally. I mean, that's the best case scenario, right? Namesake Coffee, ethically sourced, roasted in Dayton, Ohio. Let's see if there's a little story on this one. Namesake Coffee. Oh, right here. Sample flavor, Guatemala. Yeah. Huacayan, amaretto, and mild fresh fruit flavors with a mild balance of acidity and fruit-like sweetness. Ooh, an amaretto taste. Ooh, that sounds lovely. That sounds great. Let us see what we can see this morning. Mowers are out doing their mowing thing. Cherry trees also got some beautiful blossoms on it this season. I'm glad with the weather the way it was, it got really nice, and then it started to freeze again overnight. So, ooh, yeah, there's a little bit of a nice little amaretto smell there. Nice, nice. I got the camera sorted out. I hit a button and changed like a setting on here. You can go through and actually make everything a little more blue or a little bit more yellow or a little bit more red, depending on your lighting. And it's really nice. This is the Final Cut iPhone camera. So you actually have to go in. It doesn't save directly to the phone. You actually have to go into the program and say, okay, you've recorded it, now save it onto the phone itself. And that's something else I had did that as well, and it was really annoying, but it's all right. We'll get there. Dainty little beans. Oh, look at the little beans. Aren't they just lovely? We should have enough of each one left to try to do an espresso with. So that should be fun. There we go. Maybe. Oh, this one might not be. This is definitely a sample. Sample. I don't know if that's too much or too little. Seems to work out for me just fine. And since this seemed lighter, at least in the description, fruity and acidity usually mean a bit lighter. Well, we'll get those later. I'm pretty terrible. My pouring skills are not great. I mean, to be honest, men and women, are you with me here? And non-binary folks, are you with me here with this? You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean. In we go. It's a lovely smell. I agree with the amaretto. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter whether I agree or not. I have the coffee in my hand, so doesn't really matter if I agree or not. There it is. Oops, sounds like they've stopped for a little bit. What time is it? Okay, 10:30. About 11:30 noon, everybody breaks, and what's actually really fun and interesting is that there'll be like two people over here on the side of this hill laying down with their eyes closed, because I know that they must start incredibly early. So they're down there laying down, and then periodically you'll if it's hot, they'll try to get into the shade and they'll just take a nap for their lunch break. Because I mean, if you're on a tractor driving around doing that, I mean, I know there's 0 turns, but I mean, you can eat a banana or an apple or a sandwich even, if you don't mind grass in your sandwich. Well, I've done it before myself. I've had a water on one side and a sandwich on the other, and I've eaten the sandwich while I've been mowing. So I mean, it's, you can have a nap, and then additionally, while you're mowing, you can eat your lunch. Because I mean, as much as I enjoyed mowing, sometimes, looking back, hindsight being 2020, I did enjoy mowing because I got to put my headphones on and listen to music and sing as loud as I wanted to, because the mower deck and the lawnmower itself overpowered anything coming out of my mouth. So it was just a fun time for me. I really enjoyed that aspect of home ownership. most of the time. And so, you know, I've had a sandwich on a tractor. So getting there. I tried to put the iPhone on top of my head using the little strappy straps here, as you can kind of see. But it's so flimsy and there's no weight back here. It's very heavy. The phone's heavy anyway. So and you got to kind of tip it because that's straight up and down on my head. So you got to kind of tip it so it angles, especially if it's up on top of your head. With the GoPro, it's very light. So there's really no added weight to the top of your head, which is nice. So, but with this, I mean, this thing is so heavy, and they're getting heavier, I think. I don't know if they're necessarily getting bigger, but I know they're getting heavier. So it just doesn't work, unfortunately. I would need some kind of apparatus that probably attaches to my lower belt to keep this thing on steady. So, but I tried this morning, not quite there yet. So, is anything else going on? Not much else is going on. My Uncle Chuck's coming. My Uncle Chuck's coming up from Florida. He'll be down at my mom and dad's house on Saturday. That'll be fun. We're gonna go see him on Sunday. They're gonna stay for a couple of days, I think. They have a camper. Yeah, well, I've lost the designation of camper. To me, camper can be like any of the things. It can be a trailer on the back of a car or a truck. It can be a single unit that is the vehicle and the bedroom with the little kitchen and whatnot. That's also a camper, you know. So, but they've got a vehicle that they sleep in, and it's nice and large, and it's neat. And they've discovered mom and dad's house is the best place to pull up, and because it's so quiet and so. I mean, it's just nature. It's the foothills of the Appalachia in the middle of nowhere. That is where mom and dad's house is. And it's very picturesque. It's beautiful. It's quiet. And dad doesn't want anybody up there on the hill. He doesn't care if he knows you or not. So I'm barely allowed up on the hill at times. So, you know, he's got a little... Well, he's always been that way, but I think it's gotten a little worse over the years. But but they're going to be up there. We'd selected some items from Granddad's house that were way too big to try to A, bring on a plane, and B, try to ship. One of the things is this beautiful painting that used to sit behind Grandma and Granddad's couch. Many years ago at their old house in Marietta, and then sat behind a couch at their house down in Florida. And I knew this painting. I didn't know who did it. I didn't know where it came from. All of that information is on the back of it, so I'm pretty excited about that, to look into that and maybe delve a little bit and to see what this painting that I've admired for a very long time, both in my youth and in my adulthood, and see exactly what it might be. I do know that it was painted in Belpre, and really you have to see the painting I can describe it to you, but you really kind of have to see it. It's not necessarily incredibly remarkable, but in the grand scheme of Ohio history, it's an Ohio history painting basically, depicting Native Americans attacking a fort and winning. That's not always depicted in that manner. Native Americans winning against a colonizing fort. So you don't really ever see that, but as often as you probably should. But that's basically what it depicts, and it's just a part of my childhood that I just remember very vividly, always being there. And I'm like, well, you know, I'll grab this. That's fine. And then I found some VHS tapes from Christmases and various other things that happened around Marietta around the 80s and 90s that I thought would be interesting to take a look at and digitize if they haven't already been digitized, which they probably have. Granddad, very big into technology, very big into the digital age, embraced it with open arms, did not allow any of the grandkids to play with his computer, ever. Ever. We didn't get to touch his computer ever because it was always top of the line. It was always the best he could get. And Mom had a 386 DX with 2 megabytes of RAM, and I don't know what the meg size, but it was megabytes of storage on a hard drive and a giant floppy drive. We called it the A drive. I think we've always called floppy disks the A. Maybe that was the A drive, and then the bigger, because the smaller ones were the A drive, and the bigger ones were the B drive, something like that. That was the designations that we used as a child. I don't know if they were official or not, but that's what we had on our computers. Whenever I typed A drive, it was the one, and whenever I typed B drive, it was the other, the disk size. So we had that. We had a 386, and then it had a monochrome monitor, and it never plugged into the wall. It was like another iteration of the computer later when we started to get internet out at the house, and it was dial-up, and it was terrible dial-up. You wouldn't know because we never experienced it. Even in grade school and high school, the grade school computers were Apple IIs, and we would play Number Munchers on a green monitor. And those were the big floppy disks. But we played Number Munchers in Oregon Trail. That's how I got banned from the computer lab in like 6th grade. I got banned for like a month because I died in Oregon Trail, and you could write an epitaph, and it was my name, and then I typed, "Please don't fart," underneath. And then they acted as if it was something that was going to be saved, and be there immortalized forever. "Please don't fart." And I was banned. I was banned from the computer lab because that's who we are as people. Farts are sacred. They are demons coming out of your butthole, and we should never speak their name. That's absolutely not true, but hilarious to think about. Our computers experienced, Granddad always had the top of the line computer. He always had the gadgets with the computer, and that went up until he could no longer do that. He had a laptop that at the time he bought it was fine. It had gotten worse over time and is now a mess. So now all he has is his phone while he's at the extended care facility for end-of-life care. And all he has is his iPhone. He has an iPhone. And he wanted to give that up and just use a track phone. And I'm like, no, you need to keep that because you need your YouTube, and you need different things. Sometimes he posts on Facebook. We send back and forth text messages. I'm like, you're familiar with this iPhone now. Keep the iPhone. There's absolutely no reason to get rid of the iPhone. There's no reason to have a track phone. And then he's like, well, the expense. And I'm like, it'll get paid for. Whether you have money in your account or not, I will make sure your phone gets paid for. You're 92 years old. This is not things you should be worrying about anymore. You should just be having good breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, and be able to be outside when you feel like it, so you can sit and watch the sun go by in Florida, and just that sounds like a dream, and he should have it. What are you gonna do? Huh? What are you gonna do? I just want him to be comfortable. But yeah, he was always the computer guy. So, and and even in high school, the computer lab, what would you have called it? The manager? He was a teacher. He was the chemistry teacher, Mr. White. He would, I don't know if half of them were plugged into an internet source, and he would act like they were his children when I'm pretty sure he didn't have any children. And everything he would do, he would be like over your shoulder. You couldn't open up Paint without him wanting to know what you were going to draw you know? And that computer time, which should have been spent learning how to use the computer and look at the computer in different ways, was basically spent with him telling children not to touch certain programs. It was wild. It was a wild time back in the 90s, man. CDs, yeah, well, we can get into CDs at some other point. But yeah, CDs, they were like, CDs, they'll last forever. You can scratch them, you can dent them, you can get them dirty, and they'll play, and nothing will happen, and they'll be great. And then, you know, that obviously was a lie. Huh, okay. I'm not really into that. It's not terrible. I don't get any acidity. I don't get any acidity at all. It's actually quite bitter. It's the exact opposite. I don't get any amaretto. I did when I sniffed it, but I didn't get any in this taste. The drawdown was the normal drawdown. It's the drawdown that I have for all of the coffee. I didn't, you know, it wasn't too long, it wasn't too short, it didn't hang around. And it was the same 65 that I've been putting all of the filter coffee on, the pour over coffee on. So, and the bed looks like, looks normal to me, man. I don't know. Okay. So, I mean, I did everything that I normally do. And you know what? This is just, that's not really for me. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that it's a little bit more on the bitter side. And I do like a higher acidity, I've come to find. You know, if it's a little bit brighter, I like a cheerful coffee, which I would say is a bright coffee. To me, that's bright, cheerful, and fun-loving. Dark, moody, broody, thought-filled coffees. Not really. I like my coffee mindless, you know? I like it bright, skipping in a field full of bear traps, somehow skipping every single one, and at the same time not even knowing that they're there. You know, that's the kind of coffee I want. That's what I want. And this is a thinking man's coffee, which might be good. It might be good for you. Thinking sometimes is good, but in the morning I want I don't know, I want something with a little complexity, you know? And I'm not getting the amaretto flavor. Were there any other notes that I should be kind of looking for? It was the dead center here. Mild, fresh fruit. Yeah, I'm not getting fruit. And definitely no acidity. But no fresh fruit. I might have done something wrong. But it does taste like really nice coffee. It's just not bringing forth any of the notes. And again, you know, I'm not a coffee expert. Sometimes coffee notes are right there, you know. Sometimes I can get them immediately and I'm like, that's amazing. And then sometimes they're so subtle and so up to the brew method that the coffee creator used, that it's like I can't piece this together, and I'm not exactly sure why. Sometimes flavors are very subjective. Something may taste like something to someone, and then it may taste like something to I mean, what is it? Cilantro. Some people have that gene. A lot of people have that gene, I guess, where, you know, it makes it taste terrible. And a lot of people don't taste that at all. And personally, I don't have that gene that makes it taste bad. But some people put an excessive amount of cilantro on things, and it's like I don't need that, you know. A little cilantro goes a long way, but people put it on like parsley, and it's like, but it's not like parsley because parsley's in those big branches, and people will chop up cilantro, and it's hard to pick all of the cilantro out. And once you break a leaf, you get all of the juice from the leaf getting into your food. So. Try it with mint. Mint's the same way. If you take a mint leaf and you rub it in your finger and you just smell it without doing anything to it, it smells nice. But if you break it and rub it and get the juices flowing and heat it up a little bit, it smells wonderful. It's the same with lemongrass. Lemongrass is the same way. A lot of different herbs are that way. The more, I want to say pungent. If you do that with a bay leaf, you're just going to get dust. So, you know, if you do it with mint or lemongrass, you know, you're going to have a good time if you like lemongrass. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. Namesake Coffee, ethically sourced. Tastes like a nice, bold cup of coffee. I'm not getting a creamy flavor. I'm not getting any acidity, personally. And almond, if there was any almond, I'm completely losing the plot. So that's not their fault. That's just how I've made the coffee. So, I mean, if you see Namesake Coffee floating around, it may be worth a try once, giving it a flavor, giving it a taste, and seeing if it's for you. You know, I don't review these things. I'm just telling you what I think, which technically is a review, but at the same time, I'm not an expert in anything. So, you know, but it is delicious. As coffee, as presented as an acidic amaretto kind of note to it, I'm not seeing it. So, but your mileage, as always, will vary. I hope you have a great day. Get out and mow today. It's going to be a beautiful day here in Central Ohio. I'm sure that will branch out to the rest of Ohio. The skies have been clear. It was a wonderful morning this morning. And I love to see the mowers out mowing. It means the grass is green. It means the leaves are coming back on the trees. And it's going to be all right. I'll bet it will be. Have a great day. We will talk to you tomorrow with another coffee from the Columbus Coffee Festival Brew Box. Bye.